Hello, friends. Welcome to your motivational Gen Z and Millennial Expert podcast. I am your host, Dr. Jason Wiggins. It is fantastic to be here. Thank you very much for joining us today. And we have got a great episode, our 165th episode. And I am here to share some great information that will help us pursue our life interests and really make a mark on what we want to do moving forward. Therefore, today we are going to talk about having a plan. This podcast is for those who want to be motivated, who are Gen Z and millennials, and any one of us that have that inspiration to just be a little bit better. Life is hard. We've discussed that before, but this motivation podcast is here to help us achieve our success. Now, listening to somebody is just not going to be the one and only thing that helps you succeed in life. I get that. But the key focus we're going to talk about today is number one, having a plan. Number two, you have to be disciplined for your pursuit. So if you're undisciplined for the pursuit of what you want to make happen in your life, that makes us desperate. That makes us desperate and grasping for things that we want, but we can't reach because we're not disciplined in what we want to achieve. And the third part of today's conversation, we're going to talk about being an agent of self-change. And then we're going to talk about the steps about how we can make sure that we are disciplined for that pursuit of what we want and how we can create the path of change in our life. So today is a action-packed podcast that's really going to focus on what we can do to be better. It's a new year. It's a new you. And if you haven't achieved or even started what we call New Year's resolutions, that is absolutely okay, because the only success that we're going to have is by starting from day one. So if you've tried, you failed, you tried again, you failed, well, guess what? You keep trying until you succeed. All right, so number one is having a plan. It sounds simple. Write it down. Write what you want to achieve down, and then write how you're going to focus on achieving that plan. Look for ways or scenarios that are going to be obstacles to achieving your plan. And then look at the resources that you have to achieve the plan. And if you don't see any of those that you currently have, then we got to find ways to create that ability to achieve the resources, to achieve everything that you want within your plan. But the key thing about the plan, about achieving the plan, is not being undisciplined for the pursuit. You have to buy in to what you want to achieve. Now, what is success and achievement? Of course, it's about the end result. But the end result for that matter, is about the pursuit of how you're going to get there. And that's where the plan, that's where being disciplined and is going to really impact your ability to be successful, creating that path of being disciplined and pursuing and achieving your plan. Now, we talked about desperation makes us do things that we don't want to do. That can be in business, that can be in our personal life, that can be in any range of motion about everyday circumstances. We already have a lot of craziness in the world. Wherever you look, there is craziness. Why? Because in a lot of cases, people don't have a plan. People don't have the discipline. And how do you get that? It's not always plain and simple. But when you look in the mirror and you say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, that is when you start deciding, these are the changes that I want to make in my life. These are the resources and the tools that are going to help me get me there. Remember, the one thing in life that we have control of is what we have control of. And I know, what does that mean? It means we can have the biggest impact in our own life. And that is why being disciplined, having a plan are going to help set each and every one of us up for success. We're millennials, we're Gen Z. In my case, I'm a Generation X. We're baby boomers. Whatever you may be as you listen to this podcast all around the world, it is about being true to yourself and being disciplined for the pursuit. And for example, let's pick something. What are you not happy about? Maybe you just don't have the ability to be happy. Maybe you have negative thoughts that always run through your head. It's about, I can't achieve this. I can't achieve that. I want to be happy. Well, we have to remove the barriers that are keeping us from being happy. Happiness is about a perception of what you want to be like. If you look at people and you say, oh, I believe they're happy. Maybe you think they're happy, but they're not. They may be absolutely miserable because the perception they demonstrate shows they're happy. But the result, the actions, the inner feelings that they may have, they may not be happy. So you want pure, real happiness. So how you do that? Well, you have to decide what's going to make you happy. What is the path to get to happiness? How are you going to be disciplined for the pursuit of that happiness? And then the key thing, the last and final key thing, and we're going to talk about this a little more in depth, it's about self-change management. Being an agent of change. And you'll see businesses have change management. They'll have this whole gamut of the ability of them to achieve agent of change within their departments, within their company, focusing on profits, revenue, decreasing expenses. These are all things that impact a business, from the board of directors to the owners to the employees to the overall facilities, whatever it may be. That's the big focus about change management, is from a lot of times top-down management to the line level employees. Well, guess what? As a self-agent of change, you are trying to break down those building blocks and rebuild to what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and what's going to overall make you successful in your eyes, and how maybe you align your skills, your thoughts, your ability to achieve with what the perception of others think about you. Remember though, I've talked about in previous episodes, it is not about what people think about you. It's not about their perception of you. It's about how each and every one of us feel about ourselves. We have that ability to ensure that with the plan, by being disciplined and being an agent of self-change, we can make all the impacts that we want. So today, we've talked about having a plan. Make sure you write it down, you focus on it, you have the available resources, and you move forward with that plan. But then you want to make sure that you are disciplined for the pursuit of the plan and not being desperate to grab onto certain things that will help you. For example, let's say you want to lose weight, you want to diet, the end result is to lose X amount of pounds. Well, the desperation part of that is trying some fad diet that will maybe help you lose weight, but at the end result will likely be you gain more weight than you actually lost. And that happens all the time because you try these self-fad diets and the end result is failure. But if you find a system where you eat right, you exercise, you follow a disciplined plan, you have a more likelihood for success. And that's just one example of the ability to realize the impact you can make. And that starts with being an agent of self-change. So first, what we're going to do as a self-change is we're going to embrace the resistance. What does that mean necessarily? Step one of being an agent of self-change. It's about embracing the resistance. It's about understanding that sometimes we're weak. Sometimes we think we know what to do. But we realize what we're doing is not right now working. It hasn't worked before. What is the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is doing things over and over with the expectation that you'll get different results. Different results happen when you change the course of your actions. So embrace the ability that I am weak. I need help. I'm going to find ways to get the help, get the resources that's going to help me achieve my plan with my discipline through the agent of self-change. And then once you realize you have the help, you have the resources, you want to create a vision, create the end result of what you think your expectation of the results will be. Meaning, if you want to be a great chef, vision yourself at the end result of making a great dinner, utilizing all the different herbs, spices, how you cook, and saying, that's the vision that I want to see myself creating as a wonderful plate. That's just one example. Anything in life, it's the pursuit of happiness. See the result of you smiling, laughing, being somebody that people want to be around. That vision is going to help you get there. Envision the end result, and that will drive you to keep pushing forward. We talked about the diets. Okay, what's the vision of you see yourself? You see yourself being 20 pounds lighter. You see yourself working towards a physical well-being, being in good health, being looking good, whatever it may be. Look at that and be realistic about the results you want to achieve, but then keeping those results. So that's visioning. And then you have to get the buy-in from yourself. You have to say, okay, I see the vision. I understand that I had to break down the resistance. Now it's about me determining, can I do this? Will I do this? Will I fail? Am I going to overcome potential failure? If I do fail, how am I going to get back to achieving those results? And that's where you get the buy-in. And now here's a really important part. It's when you have those small wins. Number 4, it's about creating a track record and building momentum. Building momentum is getting those small wins and realizing that, hey, I achieved this. Again, let's go back to losing weight. I lost 5 pounds. I did it the right way. I continue working out. I continue to exercise. I continue to eat better. And then I did that by understanding that what I was doing before wasn't working. And then I created that vision of how I was going to align what I wanted to do with the resources I have available to do it. And then I worked to get the buy-in from myself to realize I have the ability to achieve. I just need to gain that momentum, build that momentum and create a positive track record of success. And that is number 4. And then number 5 is make the change normal. That means once you've made the change, then continue to work forward. You may digress a little bit, but keep with the track record to ensure that you are able to not only achieve the success, but sustain the success in anything you do. The purpose of change management is to be able to implement those changes in your life, and that will be for creating effective change. And then we control that change through being a self-agent of our change. We talked about the onset today about, number 1, having a plan. Number 2, being disciplined for that pursuit and not making desperate moves like desperation makes us do sometimes. And then being a self-change agent. And then we talked about the 5 steps of being a change agent. Number 1 was embrace resistance. Number 2 was creating that vision. And then 3 was getting the buy-in. And then 4 was building momentum, that creating that overall track record. And 5 was making change normal. If you're listening to this podcast, then you have the momentum already. You have the desire to want success. You have the desire to demonstrate the willingness to succeed. So I want to implore everybody that's listening to this podcast that you can do it. If you failed 10 times, maybe you'll fail 5 more times, but maybe you'll succeed on your 6th time. Just don't stop. Create the vision, execute the plan, and then implement what you're going to do and keep the course. I am excited to see the results that you have. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions, you have any concerns, or you just want to say, hey, thank you for the motivation. So again, we have been reaching countries all over the world. The last time I checked, we have reached over 75 countries with listenership. The podcast is going great, and that is thankful to you. I hope that you feel the connection between me and what you're looking for and what you value. And please continue to listen, share this podcast with your friends and family. And I hope that I can not only continue to touch your life, but touch those as well. So again, this is Dr. Jason Wiggins. I am your motivational Gen Z and millennial expert. And please continue to share the show. And thank you for your continued listenership. Take care. Bye-bye.